Hi everyone, this is Ashnath Kothari here. So in this particular video, I'm going to be discussing about the indicative solutions for CM2 Paper A for IFoA September 2022 session. So overall, again, like the previous terms, the paper A was broadly easy, where students' struggle mostly was to complete the paper within the stipulated time. And yes, there were a couple of questions which were, I'll say, relatively more trickier, and most of the students did find difficulty in in these particular questions. Also, we would be releasing the indicative solutions for paper B around mid-October, and in case you do come up with any sort of calculation mistakes or numerical errors in this particular video, or you feel that the solution provided by us is incorrect, do let us know through the comments section. We would definitely take a look into it, and in case we feel merit in your argument, we shall be pushing in the rectifications through comments section itself, and we would be pinning that particular comment as well. So for all the viewers of this video, whenever you are watching this video, please make sure that you are also referring to the comments section, so that in case any rectifications had been made, they would be available through the comments section itself. Now, before getting started with the solutions of this paper, let me just inform all of you that firstly, again, for the fourth consecutive sessions, students from Fanatics secured AIR1. This time, not one, but two students, Fanatics secured All India Rank 1 from IAI for papers CB2 and CP2. So in total, our students have secured AIR1 in CS2, CM2, three consecutive attempts. We had an All India Rank 1 for paper CM2. And this was the fourth consecutive attempt, this time in two new papers, CB2 and CP2. Our batches are starting from 9th of October. Earlier, they were supposed to start from 2nd October, but given that a lot of students wanted this break, and due to the festivities in this particular time, we had postponed that to October 9th. So our live batches, offline as well as online, would be starting from October 9 itself. Please note that we just have a single batch for the entire session. Classes would be held both on weekdays as well as weekends. All of the students will be getting access to entire recorded content. So irrespective of your location, whether you are in Kolkata, outside Calcutta, in India, outside India, whether you're working or non-working, whatever be the case, you would be in a position, in case you take classes from us, that your concepts are absolutely clear, either through the recorded content which you provide, or through live online or offline classes which are taking place, or through our doubt support group, where directly the faculty, that is me and Gunjan, resolve your doubts. So that was just regarding the classes. Coming back to the question paper, so I'll try to keep this video as short as possible, and just cover through the solutions itself, so that you all can tally the solutions. Keep in mind a couple of questions, specifically one of run-off triangles. I didn't solve it myself. I just compared, the answers which few of my students had performed, and I have taken one or two taken a snapshot from there itself. So in case you observe any sort of numerical errors, please do let me know, because I haven't cross-checked that answer. My emphasis more was on the method or the technique being used, and depending on the level of accuracy you will use, specifically with respect to the number of decimal places you're taking, the development factors or the values, as the final answer could be slightly different. So that was just one thing which I wanted to let you know, that some of the answers are not cross-checked by me due to paucity of time. So in case you observe any errors, feel absolutely free to let us know through comment section. So the first question, utility 8. Remember that the utility function is when working in thousands. So that is something you need to keep in mind. Instead of using 8,000, it has to be 8 only. So this is the case. And again, such is the question, that even if you do not realize that, when you take 8,000, your answer when putting gamma equal to 0.01 will not come out to 2.1012. So from there also you can get to know you might be missing something. So these questions at times help you to identify your errors yourself. A common mistake was starting with 8,000. When I started solving this question, I had taken 8,000, and then when I saw no, I'm not getting 2.1012, then I checked oh, I had missed accounting for the fact that the utility function is taking in thousands. Then this is part 2, standard vanilla type of question, I will say. And then part 3, which I'll say was among the trickier questions, solving it, constructing it. Some of you have tried to utilize the formula available in the material of finding the maximum and the minimum premium, but the structure is not exactly the same over here, because here it's like you are taking on the risk and what is the amount you're going to pay to take that risk. In insurance, you basically pay a premium so that you do not have to take the risk. But the structure here of the equations which we use are going to be slightly different. So this is the case. LHS utility 8 is the case where I, the investor, do not take the particular lottery. So I just have 8,000 as my wealth. In case I need to take the lottery, I need to find the maximum price. So if I take the lottery, then 8 is the amount I had working in thousands. Let's say P is the amount I'm paying. And A is nothing but my payoff from the particular lottery. And this is my random variable. Expectation of this must be equal to utility 8. Solving this, the value of P which I get over here will be nothing but uh, the maximum premium which the investor would be willing to pay to take this particular lottery, where A is the random variable which takes the value 1 million or 0. Working in thousands, it shall be 1,000 or 0. So now my wealth, RHS, I need to find its expectation. This is gonna be 1,000 plus 8 minus P. This is when I win the lottery, which has a probability of 1 by 10,000. And this is when I do not win the lottery. So I'm getting a payoff of 0. So I'm left with 8 minus P over here. I take its expectation. I equate this to 2.1012, which is utility 8. I have further simplified this over here. Now, I basically took help of Excel function. You can take goal seek function of Excel. You can also use the tables function of calculator, or maybe trial and error. Trial and error, I'll say it's going to be very, very difficult over here, given the values over here. It's not the typical values of an equation which we usually deal with. So I was getting this to $4.06. You might also quote an answer as $4 in case you want to round it up to the nearest integer. So this part is where I saw most of the students simply had left this part, or they had just written down the first equation, which was similar to those given in the material in case of the maximum premium, let's say which the individual might pay to take out insurance. So here you see that the structure over here is slightly different. So this was question 1. Next, question 2, part 1 is direct book work. Part 2, we need to find the credit spread. Now remember that here the risk-free rate of interest is given to be 1% per annum continuously compounded. So the, credit spread is nothing but the difference between the return on the bond minus the risk-free rate. So that can be quoted either as a, continuously compounded or annualized as well. The way in which I have performed, I have found out the continuously compounded one. So few students I observed, what they had done was they have find out the effective annual rate of interest and subtracted 1% from it. That will be wrong because this 1% is basically force delta continuously compounded. So you just need to ensure that there is consistency. Either you find out the continuous compound rate or you effectively find the annualized rate for both of them to subtract and get the credit spread. So this was question number 2 over here. And I'm getting credit spread to be 2.71%. This is a continuously compounded figure per annum. So question 2, I'll say, was fairly easy. Question number 3 over here. Again, I'll say it's fairly easy. Part 3 is more of bookworkish type. So part 1 and 2, I'll quickly let you all go through the solutions. These are the values of A, B, C, and D. There might be different ways for you all to work around it, which is perfectly fine. And this is part 4, profit. So I found out the price which was paid, then I found out the value of these bonds, and then the difference between this will nothing but give a rise to the profit. Then question number 4, again, those questions where most of the students really struggled. Again, part 3 was something which I would say, students could do even if part 1 and 2 they were not able to do. So this is where you need to keep your composure, you need to keep your calm so that you read the question, and even if you're not able to do earlier parts, you might be in a position to do the later parts, or without any reference to the earlier parts. So this is question 4. If I follows normal minus 1 comma 1, 1 plus I follows standard normal. We start with x2 less than k, and also remember one thing from your CS1 studies or CT3, that if a random variable, or if we have a standard normal variable z, then z square follows nothing but chi square 1. So you can always keep that in mind. So your x2 is nothing but 1 plus I whole square. 1 plus I is standard normal. So you should know back of your mind that x2 must be nothing but a chi-square distribution. Or alternatively, you could say a gamma distribution as well. So this is how I have gone about probability x2 less than equal to k in this particular form. And then this is the first part which I'm getting. Z, the PDF of Z, you can find in actuarial tables in case you do not recall that. And then in part 2, I found out, probability G less than equal to K on getting this particular expression. Then I'm making the substitution because I want to make it in a form which tallies with the above part. And here you see, I can bring it to a part. So now therefore G is nothing but x2. And then in part 3, we need to find expectation x2 or expectation G. G is nothing but chi-square 1 distribution, which has a mean of 1 and a variance of 2. And this is the case over here. Alternatively, G is following a gamma distribution, so mean is alpha by lambda. So that's what I've highlighted over here, half divided by half. And variance is alpha by lambda square, which I've denoted here as alpha divided by lambda square. So again, this was question where parts 1 and 2 most students struggle. Part 4 is, discussing the appropriateness. I'll say commentary part. So many students, as it is, tend to skip these parts. And part 3, some of, altogether left question 4 itself. So after a long time, I'll say there was a really, I'll say, different and I mean, because actually students did found it difficult. So you could say difficult, although this was directly coming from your CS1 studies itself. Question number 5, or rather, I'll say an easier part. So let me take you all quickly through the workings. Part 1 is bookwork. Part 2, I find it out the upward probability and the downward probability. I find out the price itself. Question number 6. Again, for 6, I have not performed the calculation myself just to save some time. I just referred to 3 solutions for part 3. And the answers were almost similar. Depending on the level of decimal places you use, the answers could be different to the tune of, let's say, hundreds or thousands itself, which is fine given the large absolute amount which we have. So let me quickly take you all through the solution. N is coming out to be 4716981.132. If you want, you could round it up to the nearest integer. Part 3, this is the equation. Again, I lay down the emphasis on getting the first starting point, the random variable or the equation of interest always correct, and then proceeding, things become easier. So 2 equations you are getting for the delta as well as for the gamma. Solving this, I'm getting A and B as these values. Again, some of you might get a bit different values depending on the level of accuracy used and depending on the actual value of n which you are using over here. Next, we have question number 7, which is of run-off triangle, or rather 21 marks question. So let me take you all through the solution for same. This is the cumulative claims incurred table. This is the incremental claims incurred table. Incremental claim rate has been given. These are the inflation rates. Next, inflation factors have been calculated. Incremental claims incurred at material development prices. Then the cumulative table has been found. Then associated development factors. These have been there calculated. Next, we have projected the amounts. Next, we have found the non-cumulative amounts. Then we need to basically adjust it for future inflation as well. So after adjusting for future inflation, this comes out. When you add all of them up, you will be basically getting the outstanding claim reserves, which over here is coming out to be 1480.683. So you all could, pause this video, just go through the underlying solutions. And in case you find any sort of errors or any sort of mismatches, please let me know through the comments section as well so that I can push in the rectifications. Instead of solving it myself, I just saved some time at my end. So you all could go through them in case you all find some errors. So I would be, kind of forced to perform these calculations again, but I'll do that if required. Else, this on the face of it seems to be fine only, and something, I found similar in 2, 3 candidates answer script. So this was question 5. Now question 8 and 9. We're left with question number 8. Again, an easy question. Even question number 9, I'll say, was a pretty easy question. So question number 8, here we have, first I found out EM, expected return on market, then the risk-free rate, and then the market price of risk. So this was 8 part 1 and 2. Then 9, These are the workings. Again, some of the students did make certain sort of silly errors, so while calculating the semi-variance. And then finally, what we have is the shortfall probability, which is coming out to be roughly 0.648. And for the second one, it's coming out to be 0.135. So these are the indicative solutions. I hope you all did find this particular video useful. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you all are updated with the latest content which we release. Please do like the video as well in case you found it useful. It helps the video to reach more viewers. And in case of any other inputs you might have, feel free to let us know through the comments section. Thanks everyone.